Hi, it's Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com, and just wanted to give you a very quick rundown of the questions that I've had about the Presenting with Confidence and Calm one-day video webinar, and just answer some of those questions. Thought I'd do it now, tonight, while the deal is on. You've got another, I don't know, 59 minutes or something like that. So just going to give you a very quick rundown of, what it is, how it's all structured and how it works, what we're going to be covering, and just so you have clarity in your mind. And it also means when I get those next set of questions in, I can just point people to this video. So in terms of what you will be seeing when you go to the landing page, so let's just kind of pull that up. So that's the page you would be going to, and what I will also do is drop the link to that in the comments. So that's the page you'll be taking yourself to. There's a countdown timer at the top so you can see how much time is left. There's a very quick video if you wanted to have a look-see at that. In terms of what we are going to be covering, we're going to be looking at how do you go, first of all, from being terrified of public speaking to actually enjoying it. And in my case, loving it. And I was terrified of public speaking right up until the age of 32. I could not think of anything worse to be doing. So we're going to cover that. Also going to take you through the four-step process to help you structure any kind of talk or presentation. Doesn't matter whether you're doing that formally, informally. I've had coaching clients who've used this from everything from doing best man and father of the bride wedding speech right through to doing TED Talks and everything in between. We're also going to talk about how you can calm your nerves and anxiety. Also going to look at one of the, in terms of some of the biggest things that I call the self-saboteurs that get in people's way in terms of thinking, and also in terms of the way that their mind will work against them rather than for them. I know another big thing that people are often worried about is how to deal with a live audience and how to deal with questions. So I'm going to share with you some tips and strategies and things that you can do with regards to that. And one of the reasons people have said they're afraid of live questions and open forums is you can't plan for it. You don't know what somebody is going to be asking of you, and therefore it's a massive wild card. And if people just want to deliver their talk and get on with it and run off stage, when you've got open questions, when you've got forums, it's a whole different ball game. So there's definitely a process and a strategy around that I will share with you. Definitely going to be talking about sort of easy ways to deal with. The way I would put it is in terms of your focus, your mindset, and things that you can do to have your mind work with you and for you rather than against you. And also a piece that I'm going to put into this as well, because it's something I spent several years doing, is working with entrepreneurs and startups, helping them put their pitches and presentations together when they're pitching for angel funding and investment. So we're going to do kind of an entrepreneur piece for people who are pitching and presenting to investors and promoting their businesses. So in a nutshell, that is what we are going to be looking at. That's what we're going to be covering, because it's going to be live in the first instance in terms of how I'm running it as the video webinar. You will have an opportunity to ask questions as well. There's also an opportunity to do some one-to-one coaching outside of that via Skype or my private video webinar meeting room. So we really kind of hone and refine those skills. So go along and have a look at the link, which is in the comments if you're watching this on Facebook, and I'll put it in the description if you're watching it on YouTube. And in terms of just some of the things that you can expect, and have a look at the pages. I've only put two of them up, but one of them is from a lovely client of mine, Erica Brodnock. Some of you watching this might know Erica, and when she came and worked with me, she was petrified of presenting and had been invited to do a TED Talk. So we worked on many of the strategies we're going to be talking about here in the one-day video webinar, and literally to say that she rocked the house would be an absolute understatement. Actually, I'm going to see, I wonder if I can, let me see if I can, it's not in my deck, but let me see if I can pull up the picture of what Erica is doing now, having been terrified of presenting. Right, so you're going to see a black screen for a moment because I am just pulling up I'm just gonna, let me do this. Da-da-da. Well, hopefully, there we go. So that's Erica. Seriously, the woman has been all over the world. She is an incredible speaker. And wherever she goes, she is winning awards for her talks and for her presentations. And that's just one of the many awards. And I've lost track of the number of countries that she's spoken in, the number of awards that she has won. She is absolutely incredible. She's just out of this world. And so in terms of what we're going to be covering on the kind of one-day webinar, in terms of what we've just been through, I will be taking you through all of that. And you can read Erica's testimonial in her own words on the link that I have shared with you there. And you know, and I've put then a summary of other people's kind of thoughts and ideas about attending workshops. But yeah, so if you have any fears, worries, anxieties around public speaking, around presenting, around kind of pitching, then do come and join me. The way it is going to be structured is it's going to be one-day video webinar workshop. So we do it in 2 halves. So we do the morning section, we then break for lunch for an hour, as I would on a regular workshop, and then we reconvene for the afternoon. The way that it works is you will be in your respective homes around the world, so you can join me from anywhere. And if you can't make it live, the beauty of it is that there will be a video webinar replay that you can tap into at any time you choose. And we are going to be covering all of the material. It will be in my webinar room, so there'll be presentation slides. So it's just going to be like being in the training room. The only difference is you can be anywhere in the world taking part. So there's the link that I've put into the conversation thread now. That is running, I believe, something like the next 45 minutes. Once that is over, because that's the kind of the announcement price, because I'm just starting to warm up with promoting this one. So the pre-launch price will kick in once the clock rolls over on that one in about 40 minutes time. But click on the link if you want to join me. And then the way that I've been doing it with the other online video webinar workshops is the people who sign up during the pre-launch and launch, you guys will get to choose the date. Then from there, the date goes out to the public. That means that everybody who wants to join me live has the opportunity to do so. Anyone else that's joining after the launch is over, you'll just take the date that I'm giving you. That's basically it in a nutshell. So click on the link in the comments if you want to check it out for yourself, have a quick look, read Erica's testimonial. There's also some other stuff on my website if you wanted to go there. That's www.transformationstm.com. You can see that on the screen. So that is it, really. So that was it. So somebody had asked about the date. There isn't one yet. You will be deciding once you've signed up. Somebody was asking about the structure and the format. So it's video webinar. So like you can see me now, you'll see me now. Just a slightly different format, because the presentation slides take priority in the video webinar room, and my video is in the corner. So that's what you can expect in terms of structure. In terms of how long it is, it's a full one-day workshop. So we tend to do 4.5 hours for the first segment, hour for lunch, and another 4.5 hours. And I'd say it's a solid 4 hours. That half an hour is for any questions, because you know we're going to build time in during the day for questions. So it's going to be about 8 to 9 hours worth of content in terms of how long the workshop is. Somebody else was asking where it is, because they'd missed the webinar bit. So it's anywhere you are. So anywhere you've got a Wi-Fi internet connection, that's where it's taking place. And someone else is asking how long they can watch the replay for. The way that it's set up is you have lifetime access to the video webinar replay. And I would say one of the reasons that I am so, how can I say, so adamant, let me just put it that way. Let me remove this bit so you can see the dot on the screen. So that the person in pink on the screen right there, that's me. Speaking at, that was one as it was at Kensington Olympia, and I was speaking, it might have been, I think it was a Vitality show, and I was one of the media experts for Psychology's magazine. And what was really interesting about this one was a couple of minutes before we were due to go live, I was supposed to be speaking third on the roster. So we had the editor who was going to be speaking first, editor of Psychology's magazine UK. Then there was going to be a psychologist speaking, and then it was going to be me. a few minutes before we went live, I realized that nobody was there in terms of the speakers. I was like, what's going on? Turns out they got stuck on London Underground. The Underground had just stopped under, you know, between stations. They were on this train and had been on it for something like 20, 25 minutes. And you can see the number, there's like over 1,000 people there. And so it's like, okay, what are we going to do? So a few minutes before, had to then completely rearrange and change everything. So what we're going to be doing also on the webinar is sharing with you what you can do when things don't quite go according to plan, and you are in front of potentially thousands of people who are just like, well, you know, the show must go on. So I'm going to share with you some of those interesting stories and things that have happened throughout the years and how you can deal with those, and giving you some strategies and thoughts and ideas. Somebody else was asking me about the HUNA. And so my answer to that is yes, because it's something that I do in my coaching sessions, my one-to-one coaching sessions. So it definitely makes sense that we will do some of the HUNA here. And I know if you've watched some of my videos before, you have heard me talk about the impact of using the HUNA with groups. So that's what you can see on the screen at the moment with that one. That's me on stage with Greg Braden, Joe Dispenza, and Bruce Lipton. And what you can see in the speech bubbles is the impact of doing HUNA with a group of 550 people, none of whom knew what HUNA was, and it still had a miraculous effect on people. So we're going to be doing that. And I know that people often ask, well, what about the fact that we're on video webinar, we're not live in the same room? And this is from one of my clients who is out in Australia, who wanted to take part in a live teleseminar, because of the time difference couldn't make it. And this is a teleseminar, as in we were on the telephone. And so what I did is I sent out an MP3 recording afterwards, and you can read what she's saying here on the screen for yourself in terms of the impact of that, listening to a recording several days after I'd done it. So in answer to the question about when we're doing the clearing work and we're doing the processes, will they still work if you're taking yourself through it? The answer to that is absolutely yes, it will all still work. So that's that. Pricing wise, the reason I haven't answered that question is if you go to the link that I've put in, there's a red timer along the top. So the prices are going to be changing very soon. The announcement price was £77. That was just for a couple of days, so that's ending in a few minutes from now if you're watching this in real time. The pre-launch price will be £127, and then from there it will transition and we'll have a little bit of launch price, but the price of the workshop itself is going to be in the region of £497. So if you wanted to get it at a very good price, the time to do that is now. And that's why I haven't put a slide up for pricing, because it's going to change depending on when you are seeing this video. Hey, Mr. Peter Hans, how are you? Lovely to speak to you. Peter, you know me. Have technology will travel. And I am just loving the video webinar platform because it opens up so many opportunities, and it does truly give the opportunity to work with people on a global scale, because of course not everybody can get to the UK to join me in my usual venue. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing this. So if you have any further questions or queries about the workshop, the structure, etc., get in touch, let me know. But you know, if you've just joined this, watch the video from the beginning if you did want to join me. Click on the link that is in the comments of this video on Facebook. It will be in the description if you're watching it on YouTube. But that's it really. And if you have any questions, if you have any queries, let me pull that back up just so you can see the spelling. It's Marilyn, Marilyn, at transformationstm.com. So it's TRANCE, as in hypnotic trance, TRANCEFORMATIONS, as in trademark. So Marilyn at transformationstm.com. If you have any further questions, if you have any further queries. Okay, cool. Sorry, question. So if you have any further questions or queries, drop me an email. You might just be coming into this late, but I'll just say it again because you just asked me on Messenger. But yes, if you can't make it live, number one, there isn't a date as yet because the date's going to be decided by the people who have signed up. But if you can't make it live, you will have lifetime access to the recording, which means you can go back and watch the segments that most resonate with you. It means you can go back and refresh your memory if there's anything you wanted to be reminded on. So it's kind of a lifelong resource. Oh, Peter, you're so sweet. Peter says you are a true inspiration. They will love you and what you do. You are the best. Thank you so much, Peter, my virtual twin, brother from another mother. We haven't met yet, but the day will come. But we're in a group together, and Peter is just fabulous. So thank you for that, Peter. Brilliant. But yeah, and I love the format of doing it like this because it's just kind of bringing the world together in a very, very different way. So yeah, that's the workshops. If you want to go from terrified of public speaking to absolutely loving it, to the point where nowadays the problem isn't getting me to talk. The problem is like, okay, Marilyn, enough already. That said, if I'm doing a professional talk and you give me 7 minutes, I'm going to be speaking for 6 minutes and 57 seconds and give the presenter time to wrap up. So we would definitely be talking about that as well, the importance of timing, particularly when you're stacked and you are one of many speakers on a list, because that's really important as well. And so the bit we'll be talking about there is what I call your internal chronometer, because that is hugely important. So I'll share with you the things that I've picked up over the last 19 years. And for me, one of the questions somebody had asked, we were in a different conversation, but it's relevant to this one as well. They were saying, how long did it take me to get over the fear? And for me, it was just a couple of days. So I was terrified of public speaking right up until the age of 32, to the point I could barely speak to my own family, and used to really look down on the floor when talking to people. And really within a couple of days, I'm doing what you see me there doing on screen now, getting up on stage, running sessions, running training courses. And that's been the case for the last 18 years. And that's why I know, number one, it's possible to change even if you weren't born that way. And number two, I know it's possible to go from being absolutely terrified to absolutely loving it. And not everybody's going to want to go to loving it. You just might want to go to being okay with public speaking, and that is cool as well. So whatever the thing is for you, then we will be looking at that on the one-day video webinar. So check it out if you'd like to do it. The what I call the announcement price, because I've literally just put the pages up a couple of days ago. So the announcement price is £77 if you're watching it in real time. If you're watching it a little bit later, it will be around about the £497 mark, but you have got the opportunity to do the pre-launch price as well. So it's up to you what price point you want to come in at. And the way I say it is, you snooze, you lose. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. And if you know someone who would benefit from attending this video webinar, please feel free to send them the link. Feel free to like and share it as well. Give it a little bit of traction. That would be wonderful. And I very much look forward to working with those of you who would like to join me on this transformational journey, because getting over my fear of public speaking just opened up a whole different life and a whole different ball game for me. So it is wonderful to be able to do that for other people. So thank you for watching. Thank you for the likes and the thumbs up. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you for those people who sent me your questions in. And I will forward this video to you all now so you can watch and hear the full answer. So catch you all later. Bye-bye.